Okay. Let's lower the music just a tidge. I don't even know what a tidge is. Is that a slur? Did I just say a slur? I'm sorry, everybody. I don't know what I'm doing. It's late, and I'm testing out my new laptop that I got here. This is a Sports Goofs Mini. So we're not we're gonna come back for SG 149 sometime in mid-September. So in the meantime, we'll be popping off some of these mini editions of the show, and it's mainly just me talking about myself. Charles will do the wrestling centric stuff on his own for his sub podcast that we have out there, The Cage with Charles. If you guys want to look for that on a bunch of stuff, and yeah, I'm testing things out. Here I am. I'm in the studio. There's just me. No other chairs. Nobody else around. Just me. So what's up? Hi everybody. Hey, it's me. I'm doing good. I'm all right. It's summer. The Marlins are not a good baseball team, and I'm just waiting for. I guess I'm waiting for football because I want to laugh at the Dolphins, and I feel like Dolphins fans' hubris will get the best of them this season because they're like, oh, we got Tyreek, we got Jalen. Tua's the most accurate quarterback of all time, and everything's gonna be good. So that's what they think, and I feel like it's just gonna backfire on them. And from what some early predictions from Vegas is that the Dolphins are just gonna win 9 games this season, which is basically where they've been for all of these years. They're gonna be a mediocre team. A team that I guess with the NFL playoffs and stuff, maybe they can get a wild card at 9 victories for this season. But if they're at 9 victories, I'm like, they got 9 victories last season with Brian Flores. So Mike McDaniel comes in and he gets the same thing, and it's like, where are we going? Where are we going with this? Right? Like Adam Gase had himself 1 winning season here, and look how that turned out. So you're gonna tell me that suddenly the whole thing's been turned around? And like, no, it's going to be more of the same from in Dolphin Land. So that's what I think. But yeah, I'm here. So we're talking about CC Sabathia. That's what we are talking about here in the virtual studio here. There's some scores above. Baseball is happening. It's going on. It's actually getting pretty excited because now we're starting to see teams that are the contenders are contending, the pretenders are falling apart, and my baseball team is one of the pretenders, and they're just not good. So it's time to start selling off some pieces, and we'll figure out what to do for next season. At this point, other teams really need to start taking a good hard look at what the heck they're doing, like a certain Angels team that's losing 2-0 right now to the Texas Rangers in Anaheim. Like they really do need to look at what the heck they're gonna do with their franchise, because Mike Trout's got a rare back disorder that's probably just gonna destroy his career, and so that's gonna be over. And you might as well just get what you can for Shohei. That's what I believe. If you want to restart your franchise, hit the big giant reset button on that. Pull yourself a Herschel Walker trade, right? I don't get why more teams don't try and pull off their Herschel Walker trade. Maybe it's because they don't want the Miguel Cabrera trade on their resumes. That's also a big danger there. But hey, man, they got to do something. There's a bunch of teams here that have got to do something. The Nationals are in that position right now with Juan Soto, who still is under control. So it's not like they have to trade him during this trade deadline. They could trade him during the offseason in 2023. Heck, they could trade him during the middle of the 2023 season. So they could do that too and just hold off. But hopefully it doesn't have a debilitating injury that'll sideline things. And maybe that's the other thing. It's like, do we pull the trigger now? But right now, it's those are the things that are happening at this point during the baseball season. So the trade deadline is going to come up. I might do a trade deadline SG mini. Just to kind of recap things, see where everything's moved on, maybe go through what all the other teams have done once the dust settles. And yeah, well, okay, so this intro has kind of gone on pretty long here, and I might as well get to the actual point of what I did want to talk about, which is the guy up on the screen above me. Let's zoom in on that. His name is Sabathia. And I don't know. I just been thinking about him lately. Okay, he's thin now. He's been looking good in retirement. He's got his own little media thing that he's doing, trying to create his own little media empire. So that's what he's doing. When he was playing, 6'6", 300 pounds. Definitely not that anymore. He's lost some weight. I don't know how much weight he's lost. But he's lost like a good probably 50 pounds at least. He's looking very svelte, especially at 6'6". And he's mainly known for pitching with the New York Yankees, a record of 251 victories, 161 losses, 3.74 career ERA, playing mostly in the American League. 3,000 strikeouts, which is one of the big Hall of Fame numbers, and I think that's what's just going to get him in. Right? We're no longer at an age where victories are the thing, because 300 wins is going to be really hard to get for most pitchers now. Most pitchers, 300 victories. That's not real. Like it's not reasonable for most guys unless you are on a super successful team. And CC played on some okay to good Cleveland teams. Then a wild card push with Milwaukee, and then he won a World Series with the Yankees and played on some good to okay Yankees teams, and even tried to hang on for this last bit of success that they've had in the past few seasons, but just his body just couldn't do it anymore. But he was the anchor of the rotation for the Yankees during the post Andy Pettitte era. I'm just gonna say Andy Pettitte because he's probably the starter you think of when you think of the Yankees from like the 90s and stuff. Yeah, Roger Clemens, yeah, sure. And we could say that too, but I would say just Andy Pettitte in general would be that guy. But yeah. So 19 seasons, he won a Cy Young Award. Was the American League Championship Series MVP, the ALCS MVP in 2009, and of course won that World Series. Born in 1980 from Vallejo, California, up around the Oakland area. Selected 20th overall by Cleveland in the 1998 draft. 19 seasons. I think I said that already. And yeah, 2007 Cy Young Award with Cleveland. And Cleveland made a mid-season trade to send him over to Milwaukee, help them in their playoff push, and then he signed with the Yankees and won the World Series. So that era of CC's career, just off the top of my head, was like the peak of his talents. And then after that, he just became a workhorse and reliable. All right, let's see here. Let's see what we can muster up as far as the stats are concerned. And let's see, 561 games played, 560 career starts. So I don't know what the one time he came in from the bullpen was. It might have been maybe that 2008 season with Milwaukee, I believe. because I think the Brewers. Did the Brewers play a one-game playoff? I don't remember. I do not remember. I don't feel like looking it up though. 38 complete games, 12 shutouts, 3,577.1 innings pitched, allowed 3,404 hits, 1,485 earned runs, 382 home runs, 1,099 walks, but 3,093 strikeouts. That's the big number right there. That's the one we have to basically look at for all of this. Played most of his career with the Yankees, 307 games, then Cleveland at 237, and then that final 2-month push with the Milwaukee Brewers, 17 games, when he went 11-2. He was the best pitcher in baseball in that time frame. 11-2, 1.65 ERA, 7 complete games in those 17 starts. This is insane. 3 of them shutouts. 3 shutouts. 130 innings pitched. And yeah, he played like insane. 128 strikeouts. So hold on, let me actually try and do some math here as we break down CC's Milwaukee Brewers stint, which was legendary, by the way. I think a lot of people in Milwaukee love him just for that alone. They didn't win the World Series. They didn't even make it to the to the NLCS that season. But it was legendary. It was a legendary run for CC. Just 17 games started. He won 11 of those games. 2 losses and the rest were no decisions. A 1.65 ERA. So in 17 games with Milwaukee, 128 strikeouts. So he was averaging 7 strikeouts per game. So that's a pretty damn good clip. That's gonna get you some victories for sure. And then with the Yankees, most games he's played with them, 307, and pretty much all of the rest of his career. I mean, it's pretty well balanced in general. 3.81 ERA with New York, 3.83 with Cleveland. It seems like his entire career was just well balanced, and he just stayed healthy most of that time. So he racked up those 3,000 strikeouts. He knew how to get people out, and he was coming into the league when strikeouts were starting to go up. So that did help. But he himself was amazing. And then you just have that middle portion in Milwaukee, which was legendary. And I think when you take all of this into account, the 3,000 strikeouts, that 2009 World Series, the 2007 Cy Young, and that insane run with Milwaukee, it definitely puts him over the top. And I would say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I've already made the decision. Like, this is something that I kind of already knew, but I wanted to see it for myself. I didn't realize how like insane his Milwaukee stint was, but it is crazy here. And a road warrior as well. 130 victories on the road versus 84 losses. So he's pitched more on the road than he did at home in his career, and he got the victories. So he's very reliable with regards to that too. And let's see, you got the day-night stuff as well, and then the months. And then let's see, as far as his career, as far as months are concerned, let's see how he does. It seems like as the season, like he starts around April. All right, it takes a bit to get going there. 33-27. So it takes him a bit to get going, and then he starts ramping it up by May, he's all warmed up and ready to go. By July, his Julys haven't been great. So dog days of summer, so he dips right there. But then August, he starts pumping up back again. August has been his best month, and then in terms of ERA, September is his best month as well. So as the games start to matter more, CC starts to do a lot better. He's 4-1 in the month of October, and yeah. So he definitely did turn it on when it came to actually putting it together when the games mattered the most, going down the stretch for the teams that he played for. He let's see, he did best against, let's see, as far as the different divisions, played mostly in the American League East and American League Central, and man, he laid waste to the American League Central. So, and yes, everybody, this Sports Goofs Mini is brought to you by Orbix. They have fantastic mods available for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So experience the world of flight simulation with Orbix. Expand your horizons. Start flying now. And Microsoft Flight Simulator is an incredibly fun game, for sure. Next time I get Game Pass, I'll try and download it again, but it's time consuming. But thanks Orbix for supporting this Sports Goofs Mini on CC Sabathia. But yeah, it looks like CC, the American League is did pretty. I mean, as he was 15 games above 500 against the AL East, but he just laid waste to the American League Central. Wow, he loved feasting on them for sure. And it makes a lot of sense. He played a lot of times with Cleveland, and then the Yankees against some. Really, the American League East, the Indians started going down. The Twins were always the doormat for the New York Yankees, and the Tigers had some good seasons, and had some seasons where they did fight off against the Yankees as well. And Kansas City was a non-factor for most of his career, except for that mid 2010s when they won their World Series over there. And then the White Sox, some contending seasons, especially 2005, the mid 2000s White Sox, but the mid aughts, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so I could see how he would feast on the American League Central, and definitely the NL West too. 11-4 in the 15 games against the NL West. Makes you wonder what would happen if he had, I don't know, probably not go to Oakland, but let's say play in San Francisco or something. Okay, well, and the team that he got the most victories against was the Kansas City Royals. 22 victories against them, 22-12, 10 games above 500 against KC. Against Minnesota, the same thing, 20-10 against Minnesota. Didn't do well against Oakland, so he didn't have some pretty good homecomings. 11-12, losing record against the A's right there. Against the Detroit Tigers, the Tigers, he had 7 games above 500 against the Tigers. They once again, they were one of the better teams. 4-5 against Cleveland, so didn't have good homecomings in Cleveland either. So he just didn't play well against them. Against the Yankees rivals, 10 games above 500 against Baltimore, only 3 games above 500 against Boston. That's pretty interesting. Against Toronto, 7 games above 500. Against Tampa, only 2 games above 500. Against the Rays. Remember, the Rays were finally coming into their own when CC was in New York. So the Rays had finally turned around their franchise by that point. So he couldn't take as much advantage of the Rays because the Rays were no longer pushovers. And as far as the National League is concerned, he has a perfect record against San Francisco, against St. Louis, and he never won a victory against my Marlins. He pitched in 2 starts against the Marlins, 2 no decisions, 4.91 ERA. So, okay, all right. So that's 7 innings pitched in 2 games against the Marlins. Looks like the Marlins rocked CC the couple of times that we faced him. I'm not sure when. I don't know if it was when he was with the Yanks or with the Brewers or even with I think Cleveland. The Marlins faced them in 2007. Maybe he played against them, but okay, all right, that's pretty cool. Cool beans, and yeah, it seems like he didn't do well against the Yankees when he was in Cleveland. So yeah, you can't beat him, join him. That's what he did. Yankees threw stupid money at him. And I guess that's, for the most part, he's done well against most teams. Only losing records against Cleveland, the New York Yankees, the Oakland A's, and that's it. And then split against Milwaukee, 1-1. And nothing with the Marlins. 1-1 against the Dodgers. And 2-2 against the Cubs. So there's not many teams that humbled CC, and somehow the Marlins are one of them. Okay, sure. Alrighty then. And let's see. I don't think there's anything more here. Those are the splits. And I want to look at the stats here. So his best, as far as victories is concerned, let's see. And remember, wins aren't that big of a deal anymore in baseball, but whatever. 21 victories in 2010 when the Yankees were defending world champions. So that's when he became one of the few members of the Black Aces. So the Black Aces are African American pitchers who managed to get 20 victories, and I don't believe there's many in that list. Let's see if I can pull it up. I know Dontrell is one of them. Dontrell Willis of the Marlins. He got that in 2005, but let's see. So we got Vida Blue, who did it 3 times with the Oakland A's way back when. Al Downing, Bob Gibson, of course, he did that 5 times. Doc Gooden with the Mets in '85. Mudcat Grant, who is the guy who basically is the guy who invented this. He's from Florida. Wow, look at that. Who invented this designation? So he played, let's see, most of his career with Cleveland, I think. So there you go. Ferguson Jenkins, a Hall of Famer as well. There's only 2. Let's see, 2 of these guys are actual Hall of Famers here. Vida Blue's not a Hall of Famer. 209 victories. Okay, but 3 World Series championships, a Cy Young, an AL MVP. He's not a Hall of Famer. Vida Blue is not a Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame in San Francisco, Hall of Fame in Oakland. He has a no-hitter. He has in his career. I guess in 1971 was like the peak year for him, and then he won 3 World Series in a row with Oakland, but not a Hall of Famer. Interesting. 206 victories. 209 victories. I guess that's why. And yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent here, but wow, he's not a Hall of Famer. Is that like a Veterans Committee thing? Can they look at that? The different eras? Because I might want to look at that. Just in case. He's in his 70s. Just take a look at it before. We don't want a Buck O'Neil situation. Finally made the Hall of Fame in 2022, by the way. So that a travesty was righted there, but it's way too late since he died. Anyways, so Ferguson Jenkins did it 7 times, winning 20 victories. Sam Jones once, Don Newcomb 3 times, Mike Norris once, J.R. Richard once, Dave Stewart 4 times, Earl Wilson 1 time, and Don Trell did it in 2005, CC did it in 2010, and David Price did it in 2012 with Tampa. So those are all of the Black Aces. And all right. Okay. But once again, the victory, it's hard to do. I would say that it's hard to do, to win 20 victories in a Major League season now. So especially with guys' maintenance programs and things like that, guys don't pitch as long, and just your team has to kind of help you there too. So, anyways, these numbers for CC are just, they're good. They're just really good. And once again, he was just so consistent. Look at this. He had double-digit victories in pretty much all but one season. Actually, no, in every season. In every season that he played in, except towards the end, when he was starting to get more injured, 2014, 15, 16. But then the Yankees start roaring back to contention in 2017. And then he got 9-7. Then finally his career he just couldn't do it no more in 2019. So it was over after that. He tried, and CC tried to get one more for the Yankees towards the end of his career. And it's still not that bad. 4.95 ERA, yeah, that was pretty high up there in 2019, but he was hurt. But the season before that, 3.65 ERA, which is pretty consistent with his career average of 3.74. So he was just consistent. Right, 2001 he made his debut. Then 2002, he won a ton of victories there. 2002, the same thing. And then starts putting it all together. And then just his career in general. That 2008 season, my goodness gracious, that was his best career year as far as ERA, 2.70 ERA in 2008 between Milwaukee and Cleveland. And that's, talk about free agent year as well, because the Yankees threw stupid money at him. But guess what? He produced. Look at all of this. Look at his time with the Yankees. He was just consistent. And yeah, he was what? 49 victories away from 300. Okay, sure, but a bad Cleveland team in 2008 that unloaded him finally, and that's not his fault. He did what he could in Cleveland. Mediocre Cleveland teams, 2004, 2006, good one in finally 2007, and then this Milwaukee team, and then with the Yanks, that's when he started racking up stuff. But then his injuries, I think had he played for slightly better Cleveland teams, and these injury plagued seasons between 2014, 15, and 16, had he probably would have gotten to 300. You would think he probably could have put together 49 more victories. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt in my mind. That 3,000 strikeouts is already the solidifier right there. But just overall body of work, great job, fantastic. I can't say anything more. In fact, it's already half an hour. So these SG minis are usually around this long, and yeah, well. We'll pick it back up. I might do baseball trade deadlines. Charles is going to try and recap some big wrestling news that's been going down for sure, and that's actually in the mainstream, and everybody knows what's going down. So there's that. And yeah, and then you guys can check out my other stuff. I have my gaming stuff, FJOGR. Just type that in anywhere, and you'll probably find me. You'll probably find me doing something, or just go, Sports Goofs. We're on everything. Right, the podcast, got the Twitch, got the YouTube, got Twitter. We're pretty much on everything too. Type in Sports Goofs, and you'll most likely find us. If not, we'll find you. Take care, everybody.